rights abuses and violation in the country. Also, we've been joined by our legal practitioner, one of Nigeria's finest, in the person of Ochai Emmanuel, to help us look at the legal perspective to this very interesting talking point. Hello, Ochai Emmanuel. Nice to have you join us on the Big Talk. Ochai Emmanuel, are you there? All right, Ochai Emmanuel, the question is, okay, we're happy to have you join us on the Big Talk. Okay, Ochai Emmanuel, can you hear us? All right, I think we are having some poor signals from him, not getting to hear us loud and clear as regards the issue of human rights violation in the country. Hello, Ochai Emmanuel, can you hear us? Okay, I think he can hear us, and let's go for a very quick break. Probably when we return from the break, we'll see if we can sort the technical issues out, and so we can get him live and direct to get his perspective as regards the issue of abuse of human rights in the country. All right, welcome back from that very quick break as we engineers are working around the clock to see that we get this sorted out. All right, Ochai Emmanuel, nice to have you join us eventually on the Big Talk. Hello? Hello, can you unmute your mic, Ochai Emmanuel? Hello. Okay, we are looking at the issue of the International Human Rights Day, which is celebrated every 10th of December, where the globe, United Nations, and the world around do observe the International Day for Human Rights. And according to the United Nations, every human has this what is called the inalienable right to life, to freedom of expression, association, to feeding, to good health care, to education. These are some of the basic shelters. These are some of the basic, rights of every human being, and it's expected that every country will domesticate all these several rights by the United Nations, which guarantees a good standard of living for every human being. As long as you're alive, you've got this right to speak, right to good food, right to all these rights as things that no one can take away from you. And that's why there's the justice system and different apparatus and mechanisms set up by the government of every country just to ensure that your rights are not trampled upon. That's why we've got the law courts, and hopefully that's why we actually wanted a legal practitioner to help us explain much better the rights of every human being and why it's important for everybody and every government to protect the rights of its citizens as a way of maintaining law and order in the society. Because once human rights are being trampled upon, we begin to see a breakdown of law and order once people have the slight feeling that their rights are being, trampled upon. We see what's happening between Ukraine and Russia. It boils down to the issue of human rights abuses, violation of the sovereignty of a country. And that's why you see the United Nations and the world coming together to say Russia, the invasion of Ukraine, is actually abuse of human rights and other issues that has played out and has caused the world a lot of trouble when human rights are being abused or stepped upon. All right, it's so sad that we could not get Ochai Emmanuel through via Zoom. for us to get his perspective in terms of the legal implications of when human rights are being abused and when state actors like the judiciary, the police, are not able to play their role of protecting the citizenry when their rights seem to be trampled upon or threatened. It makes it more complicated and makes it more difficult for the rights of humans to be achieved, and thus leads to breakdown of law and order, and anarchy becomes the high point of the day. And so that's the key reasons why the United Nations in their General Assembly resolution had decided that December 10th of every year should be marked as the World Human Rights International Day. All right, let's quickly run out of a quick break. When we return, we'll give you some tips about human rights abuses and the laws concerning human rights before we call it a wrap on today's edition. Stay with us after this break. All right, welcome back. You're still watching The Big Talk, and we had some technical issues beyond our control, but we're still trying hard to see how we can establish contact with our chairman, our legal practitioner, to get his take as regards human rights violation in Nigeria. All right, our chairman, if you can hear me, we know that 10th December 2023 marked the 75th anniversary of one of the world's most groundbreaking global pledges, the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. Let's look at human rights violation in Nigeria. Would you say it's prevalent? And would you say the non-state actors or the state actors have contributed towards making it
to do right now?
All right, it seems he can't hear me. Just hello.
Hello. Well, I don't know if you can hear me, but
yeah, I can hear you.
I just can't hear you.
Okay.
But I can't hear you. That's a problem.
You can't hear me.
I can't hear you. That's a problem.
All right. Let me pose the question to you this way.
I can't hear you at all.
All right. Let's see if...
No, I can't hear you at all.
All right.
Yeah, the voice is coming out very faintly, very faintly. I think it's from your area. The voice is so faint.
Hello. Chairman, just give us your take as regards human rights abuses in Nigeria. How would you assess it? How would you assess human rights abuses in Nigeria? Yes, my question to you is, how would you assess human rights violation in the country? How would you assess it?
We have not gotten it right. We are still trying the military era in this country when it comes to human rights violations. The enforcers of human rights violations are the ones basically violating these rights. In Nigeria, human rights is enshrined in Chapter 4 of the 1999 Constitution, and so it is a criminal, it's an inalienable right that every citizen enjoys. But in terms of actual practicability of these rights, we have not been able to get it right. There have been reckless killing, reckless attack by the same institution that ought to be the enforcer and protector of these rights. So, from our perspective as lawyers and civil society, we think that we have not gotten it right at all. We are still struggling with the era of military regime where abuses of all kinds are the order of the day.
All right, let's look at the fact that the same people who are supposed to uphold human rights are those abusing this right. Where does it leave the average citizenry? And does that show that Amnesty International is right with all its accusation against the Nigerian government, against the Nigerian military of the abuse of human rights?
Of course, don't forget that every report are a function of the data collected from civil societies operating in Nigeria. If you leave the such report to the government, they are going to give a report that will suit the administration and suit their ego. To come to your point, Amnesty International is correct in their reports about Nigeria on issues of human rights violations. Only recently, we know what happened in Kaduna State, where the military went and bombed innocent citizens. These are citizens who, by the Constitution of Nigeria, 1999 as amended, are free to life, but this life has been taken for no fault of their own. They are free to move, but this movement has been taken by no fault of their own. And that is how it has been in most sections of the country. People who go about their normal life are being restrained. You recall the SARS protests. Police officers arresting people just on presumptions, restricting them from moving because they suspect them of being involved in cybercrime and all of this. I mean, these are clear and leading examples of violation of this right. These rights are not things that only government can give. These are rights that every citizen is born with. You come to this world with these rights, and nobody can take it away from you except if you run foul of the law. Of course, the fact that you have right to life does not mean if you take somebody else's life. If you take somebody else's life, the government is at liberty to prosecute you, and then appropriate sentencing is given accordingly. So, Amnesty International is totally right. The report is dependable, and naturally and conventionally, it is going to be in sharp contrast with the report from government, because government will always want to protect their own and create an impression that they are doing better than we can imagine, whereas that is total false.
All right. The big talking point is the fact that the elite in Nigeria seem to freely abuse rights of the less privileged, the vulnerable Nigerians. Why is this so, and why is it difficult for those in the legal sector and civil society organizations to stand up and protect the rights of the vulnerable group or the masses compared to the elite who get away with abuse of human rights?
Well, I don't think lawyers are not lawyers are up to their task. But the question here is, those who are abused, do they have the courage to report this form of abuses? Do they have the right? Do they have the courage to come up and meet lawyers? Do they have the economic wherewithal to pay for litigation? Do they have? Do they have the courage to go beyond cultural impediments to report this matter to the police and engage in services of the lawyer? These are the questions. The elites are taking undue advantage of the other humble and not so doing citizens of the country because of the economic impact, the cost of litigation. Because, of course, even the police, like I said earlier, the security agents, particularly the police, those who are supposed to be at the forefront of prosecuting this kind of advice once it is reported to them, they easily turn the hunter to become the hunted. And when that is the case, how do you expect citizens who are not well to do to begin to prosecute them? When matters are reported at the police station, the police will require those who come to, victims of this abuse, to give them money for prosecution. Police will require them to bring out money for movement, to tell them to bring out money to buy papers. The same policemen who are supposed to be at the forefront of prosecuting, investigating, and punishing this sort of people, they are the ones turning those who come to report to become the victim. So you will not blame the lawyers. You will not blame those who are at the forefront. The civil societies are doing their best to ensure that these rights are known. Don't forget that only recently in 2015, we had what they call the VAP Act, the Violence Against Persons Prohibition Act 2015. These rights encompasses all the unknown abuses, violence against people that the Constitution and even the criminal code did not even envisage. Grievous harm on anybody. That is section 383 particularly. But the VAP Act protects the rights of people, especially the vulnerable ones, the female and children, against forced marriage, against rape, against body shaming, against forced sterilization. Stalking. All these are rights that citizens are supposed to enjoy. The less privileged cannot most of the time come up because of cultural issues, socioeconomic issues, and then sometimes even religious issues. So it is not the fault of lawyers. It is not the fault of law. The law is in existence for those who want to have access to it to have access to it. But
All right, thank you. Well said, Chairman. Always a pleasure having you on the program. That's how we're going to call it a wrap on the program, the big talk on global television. And we want to thank you for celebrating the International Human Rights Day with us, with your very incisive comment as regards violation of human rights in the country.
Thank you so much. And it's always a delight being on Global TV.
All right, so that's how we call it a wrap. Talking to one of Nigeria's finest lawyers there as regards human rights violation in the country. And that's how we draw it to close on the big talk. My name remains Anthony Momodu.